Hello everyone, welcome to another video, and today we are going to be covering Vim. Now, Vim is a really powerful and really useful text editor that practically exists on every Linux and Unix-like machine. So, if you've ever wanted to just become that amazing keyboard warrior, then this is the video for you. So we're going to be delving into Vim. Now, if you don't know anything about Vim, the first thing you'll definitely want to type in is Vim Tutor. So just throw that into your command line, press enter, boom. Entire window showing you every step-by-step guide of Vim. Now, I won't be following this Vim Tutor to a T because it doesn't cover a lot of things I would really want to get into in this video, because I want this to kind of be like a really good in-depth guide on some of the basics. So actually, I should probably show off my keys. So the very first thing with Vim is basic navigation. Now, you could use your arrow keys like an average normal person, but we're in Vim, so we have a better solution. So up and down, J and K, J goes down, K goes up, left and right, H and L, H goes left, L goes right. So that's your basic navigation. So these are practically your replacement for arrow keys. And guess what? For all you crazy typists there who use QWERTY, right on the home row. Literally don't have to take your fingers off the keyboard to do anything with them. It's amazing. So of course, all of those basic keys, right? Now, you can also do Control D to go down half a page or half a screen, and Control U to go up half a page. So those are also some other very important movement commands. So just in general, H, J, K, and L are you're going to be using those all the time. You can use your arrow keys, but that's not cool. And we want to do it the cool way with them. And also some other quick navigations. So double lowercase g jumps you to the very top of the file. Capital G all the way to the bottom. All right, GG top, capital G bottom. So of course, now there's the big milestone with Vim is becoming able to exit it. Now there are actually two ways to exit Vim. There's the dumb way and the cool way. So the dumb way is to do :Q exclamation mark. No, well, there's :Q exclamation mark. Boom, you're out. So :Q exclamation mark. This is like quit without saving or abandon changes, right? But there's a cooler way. Shift ZQ. So capital ZQ, and you exit. ZQ, easiest thing ever. You don't gotta type :Q exclamation mark. No, that's not cool. This is like 10 times faster and like 100 times cooler. So that's awesome. And so also, if you make edits in the file, you can just do W to write changes, or WQ to write and save changes. Of course, you can't save a Vim Tutor buffer, but so WQ exits and writes the file and exits. W writes the file. Now, let's talk about modes. So of course, we've been browsing around in normal mode, which allows you to move around with your keys, do your magic with all your keys, right? But there are various modes. So first of all, if we scroll down a bit, right? So now we want to do this starts to delete, but we're going to do something cooler, right? We're going to go into insert mode, which allows you to edit text. So we've been, playing with this, right? Press I. Boom. Now you're in insert mode. Right? Now you can edit, text, and ignore my auto suggestions. That's a fancy thing I've added. But that is simply how you can edit text. Now, if you watch my cursor as I press I, right? It goes to the very beginning of the character. There's also another way you can enter in insert mode, A, but it spits you out at the end of the character. So if I want to type before you, I can press I, right? But if I want to type after I, right? I mean you press A. So pretty much I starts insert mode at the beginning, preceding the currently selected character, and A starts your insert mode after the currently selected character under the cursor. Now, those are two ways to enter insert mode, but there are some even cooler ways to enter insert mode. So say I want to, I don't know, delete the period at the end of this sentence, right? I could go to the end, I could go into insert mode, press A and backspace. But no, that's not cool. That's not cool. So what we're going to do is simple. Shift A puts us at the end of the line instantly from anywhere in the line. So if I go back all the way to the beginning, right? Shift A, boom, we're at the end of the line. Backspace, escape, done. Now, I also just showed you how to exit insert mode. So escape, right? If you're in the insert mode, you can escape and boom, you're done. Now, some other things, right? So we have visual mode. This is pretty much a cursor selection. I'll get into this a bit later as there's some more extra stuff that we need to cover that is relevant to visual mode that I'm not touching currently. But just know V to visual mode, escape. Now, there's one more quote mode for Vim, and that's command mode. So Shift : right? We already did this to exit Vim, but this allows you to, enter in commands like say help, right? Boom, pulls up the help menu. So command mode, simple, easy peasy. That's how you enter in command mode. And you can press escape to exit. Now, of course, we've already covered in insert. So, of course, we can cut and delete text as it says here with the X key, but honestly, not a whole lot of people use this. Like if you want to delete individual characters while in normal mode, you can use X, but like it's painful and it's single. So, that just kind of sucks. So later on, we're going to show you a bit of a better way to delete words and delete just literally anything. But keep in mind, X, basic cut. Now, of course, as you've probably been seeing me do, I do a bunch of deletions, right? And oh, I want to restore that. Well, you can press undo. Simply, super easy. You can press undo all your changes. Of course, this is why X sucks, because it's hard. But say, deleted a few words, right? I can press undo and boom. Delete words, undo, back. Now you can also redo by pressing Control R. So you undo, Control R, redo. So that's pretty simple. Now, here is where visual mode starts to actually get a bit interesting. So if I want to copy text in Vim, I can press Y. Now, we don't have anything selected, so it's just going to give me this prompt. So I can press Y again or YY to yank a whole line. If I want to paste something, I can press P. Boom, there. Now, of course, what if I want to cut this line, like cut everything out, right? Super simple, DD, double D, cuts it out, puts in your paste buffer, paste register, press B, pastes D, right? Oh, B, perfect. So, of course, you could also do it the uncool way, Control V, Shift V, capital V for visual align mode, which selects via line X, P. But we don't do that here. That's inefficient. So we can do DD and completely yank that line. Now, of course, you may be wondering, oh well, I got something like YouTube link, right? So what you can do, and you want to paste it like in your Vim document, well, what you can do is you can use the special system clipboard register. And this is exclusively for if you use X11 for your display. I'm not sure how it works on Wayland, but so say I want to yank this line to my system clipboard. Well, you can select it with visual line. Now, quote plus Y. So what we did there is we yanked it into our plus register, which is, pretty much our system clipboard. So if I were to open up another terminal instance, for instance, and, paste it in, boom, that's from our system clipboard. Because Vim and your actual Linux system under the hood have a completely different clipboard system. Vim has a bunch of paste registers that you use, right? And your which are separate from your system clipboard. And this is actually very nice because, you know, you can keep your Vim stuff separate from your system clipboard. So, you know, any text editing you do in Vim doesn't interfere with your system clipboard. All right, so now you may be wondering, oh, well, I go to the top file. What if I want to, like, you know, center? You could, like, scroll, right, you know, but there's a better thing. So say you're at the bottom of something and you want wherever your cursor is in the middle of your screen. ZZ, just double click Z, boom, right in the middle. ZT, cursor at the top. ZB, cursor at the bottom. Easy peasy. Allows you to view text practically anywhere. Now I have some settings that makes my cursor, you know, not hit the top fully, but on default it will be like that. So right. So now back to that. So ZZ, cursor in the middle, ZT, cursor on top, ZB, cursor on bottom. Now what we're really going to start getting to is some of the really cool stuff you can get. So that's kind of, you know, the really basics of Vim, you know, the stuff that, you know, your baby fingers are getting to. But we're going to get into some really cool stuff. So first of all, the basic motions. Now you're probably already used to moving your cursor via HJKL, right? It's pretty simple, but you know, it's sometimes slow, you know, going through those lines. And I even have my cursor modified to go faster, but sometimes, you know, sometimes you really want to go fast. Well, simple key W jumps by word to the beginning of the word. So pressing W allows you to jump to the beginning of a word. B, jump to the beginning of a word behind you. So you can jump forward by a word with W and backward with B. You can also jump to the next word at the end of the word with E, right? So move, now I'm at the E, now I'm at the E, now I'm at the R. So now we're jumping to the next word at the end of it. You can also do GE to do the exact same thing, but for the previous word. So those are some of the basic motions. Now, how could we actually use this? Because they are super nice, but you know, you can only move with it. Well, this is where some really cool stuff gets in. So D is our delete key, is our delete operator. W, DW, you can delete words. Super amazing, right? DW, 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 boom. 3 words deleted, easy peasy. So that's the power of these motions, right? So I can do DW on the 2, delete it. Marked, DW, delete it. Boom, easy peasy, right? So now, how exactly could we incorporate these better? Well, of course you can do this, but also you can easily select things. So like with visual, say I want to select the next 3 words. 1, 2, 3. See? X, copy them, paste them here. Super simple. Now, there's some even cooler stuff, right? So say I'm in the middle of a word, right? And I want to delete it, DW. Well, the problem is we just deleted from our cursor to the end. So there's this really nice hack, right? DAW. Magically deleted the word when I was in the direct middle of it. DAW deletes the entire word. DIW deletes the word, but preserves white space. So whenever you're doing an operation, DAW, right? Deletes the word, deletes the white space. Super easy. DIW deletes the word, but preserves white space. So if you're looking to delete some words, that's the best way. Now, there's 2 other motions that I want to briefly touch on, but not really go into very deep because they are useful, but I don't really want to cover them all too much. $. Jump to the end of the line. Chevron, up chevron, whatever the heck you want to call it. Jump to the beginning of the line. So for instance, say I want to delete everything after 2. D, $. Everything deleted. Or say I want to delete everything before V. D, chevron. Boom. Perfect. Easy peasy, right? Just simple. D$, D chevron. Also, as a little bit of a hack for D$, you can do capital D and instantly do that. Delete everything from the last line. Super simple, super nice. And then, you know, there's also another way, as I quickly, before I get into the really, really cool stuff, there's one more thing you can do, and that's C. So C is what you call the change mode. You can do double C to start changing the entire line. It pretty much just cuts the entire line and allows you to edit it. But of course, you know, if you can do CW and replace that word, right? But also, as with D, if you start it in the middle of a word, it doesn't really do it all that nice. So you can do CAW, right? And suddenly now you can type in and replace that word wherever your cursor is. Amazing. It is very nice. So you can also do CIW to preserve that white space, and you'll probably want to do that more when you're replacing words, so you don't have to type an extra space. All right, so of course, let's move on to another really, really cool thing that you can do with motions. All right, motion counts. Now, of course, say I want to delete 5 words. DW, 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 DW. All right, I can just do that. It's not really efficient, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Deleted 5 words, but I had to press DW 5 times. So what you can do is 5 DW, or sorry, 5 DW, right? We just deleted 5 words. Super simple. What say we want to delete the next 10 words? 10 DW. Look at that. We could delete the next 100 words. 100 DW. Super amazing, right? So you can also literally append a number to any command, right? 5J. We just jumped 5 lines down. 100K. We just jumped 100 lines up. If I go, 100 lines down, we're back where we started. So you can always do that, or like say I want to move 10 characters to the left, I can do that. 10 characters to the right, boom, easy. So that is using motion counts. Pretty much you can append this to literally any command, and it is just a lifesaver if you're doing lots of operations. Like for instance, we could yank this entire line and paste it. Say we want to paste 5 of them. We could spam P, right? But that's not fun, right? So we can yank it, do 5P. And boom, now we just have a bunch of lines. Super easy. We can also do it with the undo command. So we just did 3 undos. So it's super amazing if you need to do something very repetitive a lot of times. So, of course, now what we're going to do is do some even more cool advanced stuff that you can also do, right? So copy and pasting, right? You can, say I want to like yank this to my system clipboard, right? So we can open it, paste it in there. It's super easy, right? But what if I'm in insert mode and I want to insert some text without going back into normal mode and pasting it in, right? Or, :P to paste it in, right? So what I can do is in insert mode, you can do Control Shift R, right? Then type the name of that said register. So I can do plus and, Control R plus. It would paste it in if, Vim wasn't being a bit annoying today. But if you're in insert mode, Control R plus. It should. Vim's being fun today. This usually happens every so often with Vim. So Control Shift R. Control R plus. Yeah, there we go. I'm having issues there. So you can paste, we got system clipboard, right? I can paste it in to my terminal. You can do Control R Shift plus and paste it in directly into Vim from insert mode. Okay. Don't we all love Vim being annoying sometimes? And then, so of course, now you may be wondering, all right, how do we open a file, right? E. Simple. I have a few files here, right? So I can open up word.txt and shows me a new file. But now where's our other file? Now, of course, you can see that I have it up in my buffer line, but default Vim doesn't have that. So how can we, well, find our other file that we were just editing? Well, simple command, bn, or next buffer. Pretty much every file open in Vim is known as a text buffer, right? So it's a buffer in a list of buffers. So you can do bn to go to the next buffer and bp to go to the previous buffer. So, right, if I were to open another file, right, we got this one, some pretty interesting images, bn to go to the next one, bn to go to the next buffer, bn next buffer, bp previous buffer. Now, if you don't have a fancy status line like me for buffers, you can also do :ls, and it will show you in the bottom all of your currently open buffers, their current location, and where line your cursor is on. Simple, very, very nice. Of course, you can also do bl to go to, you can also do bl to go to the very first, bl to go to the very last buffer, and bf to go to the very first buffer in your list of buffers. Of course, what if I want to edit two windows, two buffers side by side? Well, with Vim, that's easy, but you gotta remember one keybind, Control-W. This is your keybind if you want to do splits within Vim. So if you want to have two files side by side or one on top of the other, you can do this. Now, you can do Control-W-S, and it will make a horizontal split. You can also do command mode SP, and it will make another split. You can do :Q to quit out of a buffer view. So, out of an extra window. So, of course, now we have, this extra split open. So, of course, we can use bn to open another buffer. Now, of course, if you have mouse support enabled, you can just click between the buffers, but that's not really cool. So you can do Control-W and then J, or Control-W-K, excuse me, Control-W, and then all of your Vim navigation keys to go between those open windows. And you can also do Control-W-V for a vertical split. So you can do Control-W-H and L to go between on the sides for windows, and your up and down keys go up and down. Now, of course, I have 3 splits open, and what if I just want this one open? I don't want any of these other windows. Control-W-O. Simple. All your buffers are the exact same. Nothing has ever changed to them. They're all the same exact thing. So that is how you do window management within Vim. Actually, also you can do Control-W-N to open up a new buffer, right? Entirely new window, so you can type whatever the heck you want. Now, of course, you can write that and choose a file. I'll say text, right? Or like text, right? We've written the file text, so we can do Q to quit that. Now, what if we don't want this buffer to appear when we do ls? Well, we can do BD, or buffer delete, to completely remove that buffer, because sometimes pressing :Q will exit you out of Vim, and you don't really want that sometimes. You maybe just want to close one buffer but keep your Vim session running. So that's how you can kind of do that without entirely quitting your editor view. So, of course, now let's talk about some extras before I start wrapping things up. So, first of all, like I said, you can do command mode, but there's also something really interesting. So if I do command pwd, right, it shows you the current directory that I'm CD'd into. So you can do :cd and change that to like .config, and since I'm using nvim, we have a neovim, and you can also execute shell commands from Vim. So doing a colon, exclamation mark, and then typing in a command, you can see, boom, it outputs the command of ls. And, you know, if I want to cat, I don't know, something like, you know, license, you can cat it out and it works perfectly fine within Vim. So that is another super, super cool hack with Vim. So makes it easy if, like, say you're, you know, writing some code and you need to, like, you know, run the make file and build, you know, like your release binary or something like that. You know, make, right? You can run make and you can build it. Super, super easy, super nice. Really, really cool. Now, there's also another really cool thing with Vim. Now, if I'm here, right? And I'm here and I want to go down a line, you would expect, you know, as I go down this line to go to this t, this lowercase t. But if I were to go down, it skips the whole entire, like, 5-6 lines there. So what Vim does is it works off logical lines. So right here is just a wrapped line, a single wrapped line, right? This is a very long single line. So if I say want to go down to the T, instead of doing J, or if you have mouse mode, like clicking on the T, right? You can do GJ and easily go down a single line that's wrapped. So, right, do that, GJ, GJ, GK, GK, GK. Super, super simple. Really works well. Really, really nice. Now, say, you know, as our kind of last tip that we're going to do, the last few tips that I'm going to talk about before I leave, is say I have a long line of text, right? And I have a bunch of, you know, stuff pasted on, like a bunch of lines, and I want to do, you know, a bunch of operations to them that are all similar. So say, you know, this is some text, right? We have that. What I can do is go down to this, period. Boom. Literally records the previous done command. So I can do period, 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 period. Super simple. Really, 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 really useful key. You should always remember period. But there's an even cooler hack, right? So if I want to say do that thing on the lines without having to type period J a ton of times, I can select the lines, go into command mode and do norm, right? So what you can do is select everything with norm and enter in a command. Does the exact thing on all the selected stuff. So I just completely, you know, appended some text on the end, and you can use norm to easily do that without, you know, pressing period J, period J, period J, you know, do that. You can just, you know, instead of doing that, you can select it all, then, you know, do norm, and then your command, dot, boom, all that. What you can also do with norm is pass in, you know, normal commands. So I could do, you know, norm C, right? Vim's not being nice today. But anyway, you should be able to append any type of last executed command, and that should work. So that's a bit of a tutorial on Vim. So I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next video.